come down onto your mat, constructive rest position if you like, or any really other position that feels good to you that allows you to settle in. But if you're going towards constructive rest, step your feet to a nice wide distance and then just let your knees drop in towards each other. And then to start, bring your arms up into those cactus or goalpost arms if that feels nice in your shoulders. And then just give your body a second to settle into that shape. And then once you feel like you've settled into the shape a little bit, tune in and just notice if there's any place that you could readjust and make it just a little bit more comfortable. Make all those little readjustments and then settle back in, take a nice deep breath. Great, and then before we move or engage the body, take a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and just treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, take a second to just become aware of the floor beneath you. So start down at your feet and maybe even just give your toes a little wiggle so you feel the texture of your mat or the floor, or if you're wearing socks, just notice the texture under the bottoms of your feet. And then become aware of the floor beneath your hips, under your back, under your shoulders, under your arms, under your head. And then take your awareness up to your ceiling and just notice that safe structure above you and the walls around you. And then offer up a little gratitude for this safe space that you have to work in. And then see if you can start to tune into your breath and just notice the natural rhythm of your breath here. So you might notice maybe your breath is in your chest or your belly or your shoulders. Just take a moment to notice where in your body you can feel your breath here. And then if you like, bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and we'll just start to focus a little bit deeper on the breath. As you inhale, can you fill up your belly and let your hand just sort of lift with the belly underneath you? And then exhale nice and slow. Inhale and let your belly fill up. Exhale nice and slow. One more breath just like that. Awesome. And then relax your hands just comfortably out at your sides. So they might be a little bit wider, maybe like a 45-degree away from your body. Palms up or down, that's totally up to you, but just bring a little bit of windshield wiper action into your knees. So now we're just going to get the central nervous system on board and bring some gentle movement into the hips. Great. Take one more time each side, or just even yourself out. And then as your knees come back to center, walk your feet in so that they're a little bit closer, maybe about hip width distance apart, and the heels are coming a little closer to your bum. We're going to pull the right knee into the chest, give a light squeeze, and then release. And then we're going to switch sides. Pull the left knee in towards your chest, give a light squeeze, and then release. And then we're going to alternate sides. You're going to move at a pace that feels good to you. And when I say light squeeze, gently draw that knee in, but we're not yanking against the knee. So we don't want to jam against the back of the hamstring or where the hamstring meets the bum. So we want to be gentle, start to allow a little bit of space and lengthening in the back of the leg without yanking against it. Nice. Take one more time each side, and then we're going to start to go a little further. Now, maybe as the right knee comes in, slide your left leg long, let the heel hover, and then switch. Pull the left knee and send the right leg long, let the heel hover and switch. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you can always go back to that bent knee position and take it a little bit lighter. But if this feels really nice and you want a little bit more action here, you can always pull your abdominal muscles down towards your spine, lift your chest and chin, get a little bit of engagement in your core. Beautiful. Take 1 or 2 more times each side. And then if you have your head and neck lifted, go ahead and release it down. Pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a light squeeze. And then we're going to let the left foot touch down. Send your right foot upward towards the ceiling and then grab the back of the leg just so that you can push your leg into your hands. Let your arms get a little bit engaged. Push your heel down towards the ceiling. Take a nice big breath. And then as you exhale, soften your knee and gently pull the leg in just a little bit. So you feel a little bit of sensation in the back of the leg, and then come right back to that push. Push your heel down, push your back of your legs into your hands. Take a nice big breath. And then as you exhale, soften and draw the leg gently in. Beautiful. One more time like that. Push your leg into your hands. Take a big inhale. Exhale, soften, draw the leg in. Bend your knee, pull it up into your chest. And now we're going to release the hands from the back of the thigh and switch sides. Pull the left knee in, set the right leg down, left heel upward towards the ceiling, grab the back of the thigh, push the back of the thigh into your hands so your arms are engaged. Take a big inhale. Exhale, soften the back of your leg and draw it in nice and gentle. And then again, push that heel forward or down, push the back of your leg into your hands, arms are engaged. Take a big inhale. Exhale, soften, draw the leg in just to the point where you feel sensation in the back of the leg. And then one more time, just like that, push your heel down or forward, push the back of your thigh into your hands, take a big inhale. And then exhale, soften and gently bring it in. Beautiful. Bend that knee, release your grab from the back of the thigh, both knees into the chest, give yourself a light little squeeze. And then we're going to rock and roll up to a seated ragdoll. So take a couple of rocks and rolls, find some momentum, come up to a seated position. And then with your legs nice and long, step them out a little bit wider. So think about shoulder width distance apart, and then think about pulling the belly up and over, and then reach over and catch hold of your toes if you can, or touch the floor or your shin or your knees, whatever grab feels good. But think about letting your belly and your chest just rest against your thighs. Let your head get nice and heavy here and take a nice big breath. Awesome. On your next inhale, start to lift yourself up or walk yourself up your shins. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together into a butterfly position. But think about making your butterfly maybe just a little bit wider than you normally do. So if you generally tend to hug your heels way in towards the groin, send them out just a little bit further. So you have a nice wide diamond. And then just think about grabbing hold of the fronts of your ankles. Take a big inhale, lift your heart. And as you exhale, bend your elbows wide, lean your heart forward, keep a nice long spine. Inhale, come right back up. Exhale, lean your heart forward, nice long spine. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lean your heart forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean your heart forward. This time, just take a little moment to pay attention to the low back. Inhale, come up. One more time. Exhale, lean forward. Notice the low back. Notice your knees. Notice your hips. Inhale, come right back up and then grab the outsides of your thighs. Help your knees come together and then swing your legs around, come into a tabletop position or come onto all fours. Super. And then once you've found your way into your tabletop position, just take a second, spread your fingers, broaden your shoulders, firm up your belly, look down at your knees and then look past your knees. And if you can see your toes, so if your toes are pigeoned in or outward, see if you can kind of line your heels up with your knees, just so you find this nice sturdy position here. And then move right into a cat and cow breath. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your back. Keep that breath going and just move with your breath's rhythm. So you're going to move at a pace and a depth that feels nice in your body. Take 2 more cycles of breath here. Beautiful. And then once you've completed those 2 cycles of breath, come to a nice neutral spine, curl both sets of toes under, and then draw your bum back to your heels. Take a second to settle in. And if you like, you can always reach down and spread your toes out, make them nice and wide on your mat, and then press into your palms, send your bum a little bit further deeper back to the heels. Make sure that feels safe and comfortable to your toes and your feet. If it doesn't, let it go. Take a nice big breath here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, lift up, release your toes and right into puppy pose. So we're going to keep our hips in line with our knees. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead melt down. You can always walk your hands a little bit wider if it makes more room for your shoulders. So play around with what feels good to your arms here. Take one more breath here. Beautiful. And then start to come up nice and slow, back up into that tabletop position. Pause at that center. So we just find that firmness again, drawing the belly up, broadening the shoulders, and feeling a little suctioning up of the palms. And now we're going to lift our right hand up and make our piano fingers or tentar fingers, and then just a little crooked table. So the right shoulder draws up slightly. And then release, right hand down. And now we're going to tent the left fingers. Left fingers or left shoulder is going to draw up slightly. So your table's a little bit crooked. Nice. And then release, both hands down. And now we're going to draw our table in circles, go in one direction. Make sure that feels safe and comfortable to your knees. Awesome. And then draw your table in the other direction. Beautiful. One more time around, and then we're going to take a little thread the needle. So take your right hand, reach it up nice and high as you like, and then thread it through, and then we're going to take it right back up to the sky. Inhale, reach and lift, create some space. Exhale, reach through. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach up. On this exhale, we're going to reach through and then let your right shoulder touch down to the ground. Press into your left hand, let your left shoulder lift. So you feel that sort of half crooked table sensation of that shoulder lifting up. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then press nice and firm into your left hand. Come up and out into that tabletop position again. And then we'll take it to the other side. Left hand's going to reach up nice and high and then thread through. Inhale, reach it up nice and high. Exhale, thread through. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And this time as you thread through, left ear, left shoulder to the ground. And then think about pressing into that right hand. So the right shoulder draws up. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then press into that right hand, unwind, come back into that tabletop position, curl both sets of toes under, exhale up to a downward facing dog, and take a couple gentle pedals of the legs here. Bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. When you're ready, nice and slow, look towards the top of your mat, soften your knees, walk forward, find a ragdoll position here. So feet are going to be about hip width distance apart, maybe shoulder. And then you're just going to soften everything down. Make some space for your belly, make some space for your chest. And then if it feels really nice to you here, grab your elbows and let your elbows be heavy and let your crown of your head soften towards the earth. Take one more breath. And then if you're holding onto your elbows, soften your fingers towards the earth, bend your knees a lot, pull your belly button in, round and roll up to standing nice and slow and controlled. And then as you come up, just take a second, get yourself situated. We're going to take our thumbs and we're going to tuck our thumbs up into our armpits. So if you can, lift your elbows, tuck your thumbs in, and then draw the elbows back down, and you're going to create a little bit of a squeeze. So think about pulling the elbows into the ribs. You'll feel a little squeeze in the armpit chest muscle, and then lift the elbows up. Pull the elbows in, give a little squeeze, and then lift the elbows up. Pull the elbows in, give a little squeeze. Think about lifting the thumbs up as the elbows are tucked in, and then think about lifting your chest. Lift up through the crown of your head. Give one more light little squeeze, and then lift your elbows up, release your thumbs, and let your hands drop down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. This time, interlace your fingers, press the palms forward. Think about making a little space for your shoulder blades, snuggle them into place. And then once you feel like your shoulders are in a good position, press the palms deeper forward, maybe your arms straighten, and then you feel a nice stretch in your fingers and your palms. And then if you feel like you found it, close your eyes down for a moment and take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then soften your elbows again. Lift your arms up and overhead. Make sure your shoulders feel good. And then once you've got your shoulders in a nice position, press the palms upward towards the ceiling. Cool. And then think about firming up your belly here. So we just feel like a nice supportive system in our center. And then we're going to take a couple of gentle side bends. So we're going to start to tick-tock from side to side. If at any point this doesn't feel good in the hands or the shoulders, find that side bend, but you can always release your shoulders or your arms. Beautiful. Take one more tick-tock each side. And then come back to center. If your hands are still interlaced, go ahead and release them. Float your arms down, roll the shoulders down and back, and find your mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold all the way down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep all that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold down. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. And now we're going to start our little hop. So we're going to just pop the heels, finding a little bit of vibrational movement. So we're going to pop the heels, find a little bouncing, and then allow that bouncing to find its way to the outer edges of your body. So let your fingers be soft and loose. So your arms find a little bounce, your fingers find a little bounce. You might feel that bounce in your breath. I can hear that bounce in my voice. Maybe notice if you can feel it up in your hair or in the crown of your head. Take one or two more good bounces here, and then let it come to stillness. Close your eyes, take a breath, and just notice your body. Awesome. When you're ready, open your eyes. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, we fold down. You can bend your knees or keep them straight, whichever feels good. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, stepping the right leg back. We're going to come to a warrior one position. So you're going to step that foot back, turn the toes out, let the heel come down to the ground. Keep your hips facing forward, and then think about pulling that right hip back, left hip forward, extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Find a light lift in the chest, a lift in your gaze. Take a nice big breath. Cool. From here, we're going to take 3 bows. So we're going to inhale, lift and look up. And then as you exhale, hinge from your waist, throw your arms behind you. Inhale, raise your arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. Inhale, raise your arms up. And then from here, we're going to float the hands behind the back. So you might like a reverse prayer position, bringing the palms together, or you might just prefer to grab your wrist or your elbows. So you're going to find a position that feels nice to you. And then think about straightening your front leg, square up your hips, hinge from your waist. We're only going to go halfway. So just fold to that halfway mark or as far as feels nice. Lengthen through the crown of your head, gaze down at the floor, take a nice big breath. Beautiful, nice and strong from the back of that front leg. Lift up through the crown of your head, bend that front knee, release your arms up into that warrior one position, and then we'll float the hands down. We're going to pivot on that back foot so we come into a little lunge. If you have to readjust that back leg, take the time to do it. And then plant your palms, step back to a plank. Beautiful. Bring your knees down, lower nice and slow onto your belly. Awesome. And then once you found your way down, give a second, shake it all out. We're going to take it right into a drunken serpent. So hands off the edges of your mat, nice tall cupcake fingers. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale, lower down. Take it to the right. Inhale, lift your right shoulder up and look over that right shoulder. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale, lower down. Back to center. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down, slide your hands and curl your toes under. Find your way up to a plank or a tabletop shape, and then up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep all of that length, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, and we're going to find our warrior one here. So we're going to step the foot back, heel drops down, and the toes turn out. Hips stay facing forward, raise your arms up. Think about drawing that right hip back. So we square the hips up. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. Lift your fingertips, lift your gaze, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. From here, we're going to move with the breath. As you inhale, lift and look up. And as you exhale, hinge from your waist, throw the arms back. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift and look up, and then stay here. Swim those hands behind the back. So either your prayer position or grabbing your elbows or grabbing your wrists, whichever feels good. Think about straightening that front leg. Square up your hips. Hinge from your hips, lean forward just to that halfway point. Lengthen your neck, gaze down at the floor, take a breath. Beautiful, nice strong legs. Lift through the crown of your head. Bend that front knee, release your arms, reach up. And then float those hands down. We'll pivot on that back heel, finding a lunge, readjust that back leg as your proportions need. Nice. And then plant your palms, step it back to a plank. Beautiful. And then bring your knees down, lower gently onto your belly. Nice. And then once you found your way here, take a second, soften up your tush, wiggle out your heels, give everything a nice little soft shake. We're going to bend the knees and then swish the heels side to side. Beautiful. Take one more little swish side to side. And then we're going to think about hugging the right heel in towards the butt. Set your left foot down. And then if you like, reach your hand back, maybe catch hold of that foot, hug the heel in just a little bit closer, rotate your heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Notice the quad underneath you. Notice your knee. Make sure your knee feels comfortable. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then gently release that foot, lower it with control, and then we'll switch sides. So we're going to pull that left heel in towards the bum. If it's available, reach your hand back, catch hold of that foot, and then think about hugging that heel in just a little bit closer. Take a breath. Nice. And then on this next breath, can you just feel that quad and feel the muscle along the top of your knee? Beautiful. And then gently release that foot back to that drunken serpent. So hands off the edges of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale, lower down. Take it to the right. Inhale, lift that right shoulder and look over. Exhale, lower down. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale, lower down, back to center, and inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down, slide your hands in, curl your toes under, either power up to a plank or take it up to a table and into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up, grab that beach ball above your head. So a nice wide hold with those arms. Think about bringing your weight into your heels a little bit, bend your knees, sink your bum down. And then think about pulling your hip bones, those two little front hip protrusions. Think about pulling those hip bones in towards each other. So you feel a nice engagement in the low belly. Lift a little bit more energy up through the fingers. Take one more breath, sink just a little bit deeper. Beautiful. And then press into your feet, lift up. And as you exhale, fold everything down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. We're going to roll into a little ball of yarn here. So with the fingers on the ground, start to pick up your heels, bend your knees, lower your bum down. Nice. And then we're going to take it back into a butterfly position. So set your butt down, soles of the feet together. And this time, set your shape up the way you like it best. So maybe your heels are a little closer or further away, whichever you like. Settle into that shape for a minute. Catch hold of the tops of your toes. Inhale, get nice and tall. We're going to exhale, lean forward, take it to your edge, and then settle in. So just let your heart get nice and heavy. Let your forehead soften towards the earth. Take one more breath. On your next inhale, think about lifting through the crown of your head. Let your heart follow. We're going to lift the right knee up, but send your left leg nice and long. And now we're going to rotate towards that right knee. So we're just going to turn towards that knee, hug it in, let your leg and your hold on to that leg lift you just a little bit taller. So think about lifting yourself upward, using that leg as a little leverage, and then twist just a little bit deeper. Look over your back shoulder. Take a breath. Beautiful. And then unwind, hang on to that knee, pick up that heel, rock that leg a little bit side to side. Awesome. And now from here, you're going to see if you can take that foot into your elbow pit so you can just get a single hand hold. So you're just going to try and hold on to that leg with one hand so that you can hug it up as high to the chest as feels good. And then your other hand is going to touch down onto the ground. And then we're going to start to, whoo, I felt that right away. Lean over to the right and start to roll around and rock on that hip. If you find any really tender spots, stay off the tender spots and just go tender spot adjacent and kind of rock around the space around the place where it's feeling a little bit more sensation. And then let it loosen up, and you might notice that it sort of softens and you're able to roll onto it again. Cool, take one more little rock around and then bring yourself back to center, re-grab your knee, gently release your foot down to the end of your mat, give everything a nice soft bounce, nice, and then slide your left knee in, and we're gonna rotate to the left. So you're gonna just kind of wrap around that knee, give it a nice little hug, use that leg as a little bit of leverage, think about getting a little taller, and then going just a little deeper into your twist, looking over your back shoulder. Awesome. And then unwind, hang on to that knee, pick up that heel, give that leg a little rock side to side. Nice. And then if it feels available, you're going to take that foot into your elbow pit or just hang on to it with one hand. Think about holding it nice and tight to the chest, left hand down, and then we lean over to the left and start to rock around on that hip. Notice one side might feel totally different than the other. Cool. Take one more little rock around. And then when you're ready, bring it back in. Gently release that foot, send it nice and long. Give everything a little wiggle, wiggle out your toes, wiggle out your ankles. We're going to come down onto the ground. So just think about shifting your hips forward, bend your knees, roll down through your spine, nice and slow and controlled. Awesome. And then once you've found your way here, we're going to take it into our happy baby. So just make sure that your clothes and everything feels in a comfortable position. Pull your knees up so that they're nice and wide towards your shoulders. And then you might be totally happy here, or you might like to send your feet up, catching hold of your feet or the backs of your thighs, whatever grab feels good to you here. Take a second to settle in, let your shoulders soften, let your tailbone soften. And then once you feel like you found a nice position with the body, start to find some organic movement here. A little bit of rocking, a little bit of movement of the legs, anything that feels good to you. Great, one more little rock side to side. And then we're gonna set our left foot down, right foot is gonna go back up towards the ceiling. So left foot's gonna touch down. Once you feel like your left foot is back on the ground, we're gonna walk up that right leg. So we're gonna walk up towards the ankle. Think about lifting the chest, lifting your nose towards your knee. Feel a nice gentle tug on the back of the leg, take a big breath. Awesome. Gently release that down, lower your head, and we'll switch sides. Left foot's gonna send up. We're gonna walk our hands upward, maybe find the calf, maybe find the ankle, and then think about lifting your head up, nose towards knee, feel a gentle tug in the back of the leg. Beautiful. And then slowly, gently, mindfully release. Now we're going to take the right leg across the left into a knee down twist. So you're just going to clip the right foot across the left knee and then drop the knees over to the right. Let your arms come out in any position that feels good. So nice and wide if that feels good, or into cactus or goalpost, whatever you think would feel nice to you here. But hopefully you're finding a stretch through the front of that left hip. If at any point this doesn't feel good to your hip or to your knee, unclip your foot and just let your knees sink naturally towards the floor. Take one more breath. Now, if that foot is stacked, can you leave it there, lift the left knee up, float that knee up, and then reach through, grab the back of the thigh, bring it in for a gentle figure four stretch, one nice big breath. Beautiful. And then slowly, mindfully release. Step your right foot off the left. We're going to take that all to the other side. So left leg is going to come across the right. And then we're just clipping the ankle on the knee. Float those knees down to the left. Let them sink all the way down and then assess. If that doesn't feel good to the knee or to the hip, unclip your foot, leave that part off. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then if that foot is clipped, can you leave it there? Float the right knee back up, take it into a little figure four stretch, lift the right leg up, grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, bring it in for a light squeeze. Take one good breath. Beautiful. And then slowly, mindfully release. Step your left foot off, step your feet nice and wide to the outer edges of your mat. Take a couple of gentle windshield wipers here. Nice. And then just ask your body, where would you like to take your Shavasana? Would it feel good to come back to constructive rest with the knees dropping in towards each other, supporting the low back? Would it feel good to take a more active position into reclined butterfly? Or do you like that more traditional shape and you walk your feet long? And then just give yourself a moment to find a shape that feels nice to you. Take a moment to just notice the floor beneath you. Notice if there's any way that you can reposition anything in your body that would feel just a little bit more comfortable. Eyes closed, or just soften your gaze and start to allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Start by becoming aware of the floor beneath you. And then start to gently move your toes. But as you gently move your toes, can you feel the floor or your mat beneath your heels? And then start to move your fingers. And as you gently move your fingers, can you feel the floor beneath the backs of your hands or the backs of your arms? And then maybe turn your head a little bit side to side. Just rock your head gently side to side. And can you pay attention and notice the floor underneath the back of your head? Nice. And then start to gently move your body in a way that starts to reawaken you. Maybe take a big good morning stretch, maybe move out of your hips, maybe move out of your knees, anything that feels good to you here. And then when you're good and ready, slowly start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Come up in any way that feels good to you. Great. And then once you've found your way here, just take a second to find that comfortable seat. Head, heart, hips in line, shoulders soften down away from your ears. Close your eyes down and just for a moment, feel the floor beneath you. Notice the cool air on your skin. Listen into the sound of your breath. On your next inhale, can you